People finally speak out against what's really happening in WWE and choose AEW, the brutal truth. Now, Jamal, how you been, pa? No, Mike. All right.
Bad. And I'm going to explain why, because this news that just dropped.
Yeah, but this is 24 minutes. So he did a 24 minutes like vertical? Unless it's like a call, right? I don't know.
Have everybody.
What up, PBO?
The WWE has sold out, and I told you there won't be a WWE in 10 years.
What do you think the reason for that is? What do you think the reason is? I've been trying to tell you guys. I've tried to warn you for over a year and a half.
Better go. Oh, that's what's up. Bet.
Grace. So we haven't seen her on WWE TV. She got hurt, I believe, the week of WrestleMania, where she twisted her ankle, and allegedly she's at home, and there are no creative plans for her.
He said that there's a lot more money that we can save doing WWE shows, you know, and one of those things is, why the are we touring this show?
So it seems like a lot of wrestling fans are finally speaking the truth about the state of the current WWE product. Fans are tired of the high ticket prices, redundant weekly shows.
Motor City went to
and lack of
AEW.
care put into the product.
Yep.
The WWE everyone used to love has changed, and not for the best. Now more and more people are slowly choosing AEW, and honestly, I think we all know why. Before we get started,
it's just edits that he's doing in the video, but I'm curious. Who is this guy? Because he does a lot of videos like in this kind of form. Is this the meta? Is this meta?
don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another upload.
WWE being bona fide ass is a choice at this point. I'm a firm believer that the Federation chooses to be terrible and makes controversial decisions to keep themselves at the forefront of the conversation. You tell me, what's the bigger story? WWE putting on a phenomenal show, or WWE producing questionable
If who could do better weekly
content
TV, AEW?
Every wrestling company has their niche and what they do best. AEW is where the best wrestle. Stardom is where women's wrestling goes crazy. GCW is known for its edgy hardcore wrestling. WWE is where controversy keeps them relevant. Because whether you like it or not, negativity breeds attention. For example, including Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll in the WrestleMania main event storyline, prioritizing old heads and nostalgia over the young talented wrestlers that you have in the back. And most
look, I don't want to say that AEW's been great. Let me just say this though. For anybody who currently loves to watch AEW, I say this to say this. Yo, Cap, they put a 55 stream streak. Look, real shit. Even though you feel like it's great, go in with some real criticisms, right? Like go in and see where they could fix. I think that's mad important. Reason why. So that way from today to the next few months, we can have this conversation again and be like, honestly, we've seen how much they've improved. So I know everybody right now, we just want to see people get the opportunity to fucking wrestle. We don't want to see too much damn commercials. Cool. But I will say this. If everybody here starting today, we all start watching the program and we look at and obviously you guys are saying it's great, but also go in and look at the areas where you can feel like they can add extra, do some extra stuff. And then we circle back a couple months from now and we'd be like, yo, honestly, this is where they could improve. And I think that's important because if we continue to watch anything and we continue saying things are great, I swear to God, I feel like we get hit with some weird shit later on, bro. And it's always like that, bro. Like we said, WrestleMania 40, I think it was like the best shit ever. If I'm not mistaken, it's 40. And then all of a sudden after that, everything just declined, bro. Went downhill. It was weird. He said there's not a lot of ads like AEW. I believe it because it's TV ads. As far as like, wait, isn't it HBO? Who what program they with? It's only AEW ad I get hit with. Is it Amazon ad? HBO, TBS, and TNT. See, but Netflix, and I don't know about CW because I don't watch SmackDown Live like that. But man, Netflix, bro, it's bad. Because if you don't have the best edition of Netflix, the best upgrade, whatever, subscription, you get hit with Netflix's ads and WWE's live action TV show ads. I don't know if y'all knew that. You don't just get hit with WWE's ads because WWE actually adds ads to their shit. You know, when they be like, oh, we'll be right back. And next, you know. But if you have the shitty edition, the shitty subscription of Netflix, you also get their ads. So it seemed like it's 12. It's like how some people be abusing Twitch ads, bro. They be putting like 15-minute ads in an hour of a stream.
Recently using Ryan Garcia in one of the worst segments in WWE.
I'm sorry. I hate that my Chrome does this shit. This shit mad frustrating.
history given his shaky past.
IW is a great site as well. I'm gonna check that out.
The Federation is structured this way because regardless of what they do, they'll still have a loyal fan base defending their bull, defending their consistent unethical decision making. Because at the end of the day, for many fans, World Wrestling Entertainment has to win at all.
You just called me?
Even if it means
wait, you need me to pick up? Oh, I did. Yo, Shep, I sent. Oh my God, I'm glad you're here. I swear to God, I've been needing to talk to you. I need a forward. I don't need a forward. I need to copy paste it. I accidentally sent an email that's not you links, if like emails. I was sending it to your email because you emailed us. So I said, let me copy paste that email. No, my bad. It was like a copy paste of an email. So I sent you a thing, a file thing to open. And it has a bunch of email contacts, you know, respectfully. I realized I sent it to the wrong, I misspelled your name. I usually stream the pay-per-views on Raunchy's Discord. Oh, that's fire. So, Shep, wait, you called me right now? Oh, wait, when you called me? No. I'm going to send it to your shit. Yo, matter of fact, yo, can you text me an email to send this stuff to you? So I can send it to you? Oh, shit, you called me early? Oh, I didn't even see that, bro. I swear to God, me and Sel, we was in an 8-hour like recording session since early, like 8-9 hours. So I didn't really see anything on my phone.
Refuses to change.
Grace. So we haven't seen her on WWE TV. She got hurt, I believe, the week of WrestleMania, where she twisted her ankle, and allegedly she's at home, and there are no creative plans for her. Creative doesn't have anything for her. I was worried about Jordan, and I've been saying this since she was in NXT. I said,
isn't she already healed up?
Felt since she signed with NXT, WWE, there was just something missing with Jordan Grace. And we talked and we were like, hey, was it a big fish, small pond situation? I don't want to think that when she was in Impact TNA, because I was really high on Jordan Grace. But whenever I saw her on NXT, I'm like, man, I just feel like there's just like one little thing missing. When she got to the main roster, I was just rooting for her. And I'm like, 'cause we haven't seen a lot of her. I was like, hopefully she gets over. What's your thoughts about that? And boy, how disappointing.
For sure disappointing. I think they didn't know how to storytell for her, book for her as a big, powerful woman in WWE. I put Jordan Grace as like a spectacle. She's massive in all the great ways. She needed to be a beast. She needed to be strong. So I feel like that they just didn't book her right to get over in the way that I would want her there.
WWE radio.
I'm sorry you got hit with that, bro.
Bad. And I'm going to explain.
Yeah, you sent me your email?
This news that just dropped should have
you sent it to me on
everybody
text?
worried. I've been covering wrestling for 17
Now, to touch base on the Jordan Grace situation. WWE's so bad at this. You could literally do an Oba spinoff on Jordan Grace. She may not be as tall as every other female wrestler, but make her a fucking force. You could turn her into a Braun Breaker style, meaning like a hybrid. Have her do more agility type shit while being a strong woman. Let her beat the shit out of Rhea. Let her beat the shit out of a lot of people. There's no fucking way you don't know how to utilize Jordan Grace just because she's popping in TNA. But she may not get the same valued looks on WWE mainstream. That's the point of you building these people up. That's the whole point of building her, because she got a crazy pop when she first came in. But when you don't utilize these people well, people are gonna be like, nah, Jordan Grace is kind of whack. No, we know she's amazing, but we have to view these wrestlers with a different eye. Like, we view them as characters. There's a reason why certain people don't use certain boxers in a video game or certain UFC fighters. Like, but if we were to see crazy highlights, we might end up start using them out of nowhere. Like, that's just how marketing works. You know what I'm saying? They're not booking it correctly. I just said it. What the fuck happened to Joe Hendry? One of the biggest pops in WrestleMania history. How you ruin that? How don't you like ruin that? I mean, how do you ruin that? You know what I'm saying? No, it's not about her being whack. No, again, you gotta hear it clearly. When you don't utilize a wrestler and you fuck up their momentum, the universe views, a lot of like fans will be like, oh no, and they pass around. Like, oh no, this person's whack. Nobody thinks that she's actually a bad wrestler or terrible. But a lot of people view wrestlers as characters. So they undermine her ability. But that's because WWE doesn't know how to utilize certain people. Jey Uso, we know he can't talk on the mic, and his wrestling ability, he just needs to work on more moves, right? However, he was getting insane pops. Like, you just fucked him over. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, man. It's weird. We know Jordan Grace is a phenomenal talent, but there's people out there now that probably don't even want like scream for her because again, there's diehard fans. There's diehard fans. The best way to describe it, you have like, and I don't even want to include myself because I'm very simple. I'm simple as fuck. So I'm not even going to use me. Say a sports fan. Sports fan might only watch a highlight. There's two types of fans. We're talking about the every time Sunday games are happening or Thursday games, they got the hat on, the jersey on in their crib. And they like, yeah, let's go. Then you got the other fans. They just tune in when they can. Okay. Then you got the third type of fan, the highlight watcher. I might be that guy. You watch highlights. In one shape or another. All of them get excited, though, during the finals. But what ends up happening is the de-interest or disinterest, or I should say, depending on watching your team all the time. So if your team ends up being ass, the person that watches part-time may not give a fuck to watch it all the time until the finals or the playoffs. But that diehard fan, which is like Donnie, Fan, Jay, and many of you in the chat, I mean, I wouldn't want to say I'm a diehard fan of WWE, of wrestling, but I know when no is no for me when it comes down to like the shows. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, people complained about Joe Hendry and Danhausen. They had the worst segment on Raw with the mini Danhausens. It was a Joe Hendry concert, but fans ripped into it saying it was ass, and plus Dom is still feuding with Danhausen. I just feel Triple H is using Danhausen way too much now, and it's kinda cringy.
Thank you for the 25 bits. Here's my thing, though, and I'll get to that point, but what I was basically saying is, one, you can't always, like, WWE has to make a choice. And I'm not here defending them. I swear to God I'm not. There's a choice to be made. Do we always have to do what the fans want us to do? Because sometimes what ends up happening, unfortunately, that's how businesses go under. That's how video games get fucked. Because when you listen, like 2K is the best example. And I'm not here to try to shit on 2K. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to just speak some facts. Chad, do y'all know another big reason why 2K is in a shitty state almost every year? Do y'all know why a lot of years 2K be ass? For many years, why 2K was always ass and shit, like mid refresh of 2K, many fans would complain and bitch about certain shit, and they started patching up the game. Like completely fixing up and patching up, ruining and messing up the game. So now at some point, they're going to say, yo, fuck that. We don't want to listen to y'all no more. Because you're ruining the very product that also belongs to the mass amount of fans. So WWE, we don't even know right now if they're just doing it because there's no way, if they're not selling as many tickets as before, they think they're doing smart marketing. But I think now they don't want to always listen to the fans because sometimes the fans do chant for the wrong shit. He is spamming Danhausen right now. Now, I don't know about the Danhausen shit, but I can tell y'all right now, I could do without some Danhausen. I don't need Danhausen every fucking day. I'll be honest. But I do agree that a lot of the IWC complained so much that it ruined marketing for many wrestlers. And you know, when I say IWC, chat, I'm talking about the annoying motherfuckers. I'm not talking about these people that are concerned, that give true dead-ass opinions and give good points. You know who I'm talking about. People that don't give nobody a chance. People that complain so much. They don't want to see a female wrestler and some asses out. Like, I'm talking about those. Like those. The weirdos. And guess what? A lot of their voices be fucking heard. And me and Chase was talking about this shit earlier. I was telling him, yo, for some weird reason, man, July, my views got hit on YouTube bad. Like, bro, I didn't do nothing crazy. And he was like, yo, same. And like certain videos and like this shit is happening to many people every time YouTube does an update. He goes, but we find it kind of crazy that when a new channel comes in, they do a same topic and they video skyrocket. It's the same thing I see here. The way WWE is like moving about it. Not WWE, the fans. Some people with the IWC community, they got like no followers, nobody, no friends. And then they put out a tweet and those are the tweets that go viral. What the fuck? And they end up being some of the reasons why WWE probably don't give a fuck. Not only that, TKO be tripping too. But everyone is online and online and fan base. They have a fair point with opinions and criticisms, but most of the IWC is convoluted environment that is becoming toxic, thus making people, oh shit. Think all the internet is lump.
Triple H
Exactly.
came out and said fans are ruining WWE, but then he complains about how fans are not being fans and complain about the booking, but then again they show what goes on with booking with Unreal, like make it make sense. You want us how the booking is but don't want to give an opinion.
Agreed. Man, that's bad. Let me see this shit. Somebody sent me something. Oh, okay. No, maybe not. It's always unfortunate, bro. Danhausen shit. Wait, so it's really been that bad, Chad? It's been that bad? Exactly, Triple K. Oh, I didn't know it was that bad. Is the fans fucking with it or not? No, I don't want to look it up. No, Prince, my brother. I don't want to, man. And thank you, Donnie, for the 25 bits. I don't want to, man. Please. The kids probably. Well, here's my thing. Is people chanting for it? Like, are people getting no? Here's the thing, but here's the big thing too. Here's the crazy shit, y'all. Like, they put 100 bits.
I believe since Danhausen got put in the media's face with the Knicks, it's been downhill since then.
That's ass. Let me ask y'all though. Do y'all fault Danhausen? Y'all see how y'all saying it's being overused, right? Excuse me, it's being overused, right? So what ends up happening is there's other fans that feel that way, but they'll add in an extra spice to it. They'll say, man, Danhausen, man, he's fucking boring. He's fucking terrible. Meanwhile, we don't think he's terrible. But when you do certain shit in the media, people look at these people as characters, bro. And it's fucked up. It may not even be his fault. But he'll get the short end of the stick. And fans will complain about him rather than complain about Triple H. See, everybody in here, I think we've all had conversations enough. Like we've all talked a lot enough to where we understand the grounds of like being a fan, being critical about shit. Yeah, yo, I think what ends up happening, y'all should know this by now. Danhausen's go get hit with some bullshit. You said Houses sells hella merch. Oh, I know he does. But that's how WWE destroys talent, bro. Streamers being clueless about the shit they constantly watch or play annoys me. And, oh, damn, wait, I might be ass at games. Mike, you talking about me? Fuck. I think you've been waiting to say that. I just don't think Danhausen needs to be used that much. Like, the curse thing would be nice here and there. They're utilizing him like I feel like, I just hope he don't turn into the next Boogeyman. The thing is, he has had way more success than Boogeyman with the way that they're using him. But I don't want it to be where you open up a door and you come across him then. Every time. Because remember, Boogeyman was in everybody's room at some point in WWE doing like, I'm the Boogeyman. Like, he would do that shit, but nothing else would happen. And then they look at Danhausen as like a rib kind of person. That would suck. As a gimmick character, even though he can wrestle, they never want to fucking showcase these dudes' skill. Damn, so they don't even use him as in the wrestling ring like that? Also, currently, the women's division has lost its soul and passion, I feel like, at the moment, in terms of the not having better utilization with them, especially how Rhea is injured. Oh, yeah, I heard they're not relinquishing her title. You was going to say Boogeyman? Wait. Yo, J. Will. Yo, tell your brother he'll be all right, bro. Tell him I know drinking can sometimes fuck with your cognitive state. But let him know, man, drink more water, man. He'll be good in good health, man. How you doing, Jay Will? God bless you, brother. Rhea she should vacate that title. She's turning into Seth Rollins with these injuries, and I feel bad. It really does suck. And I hate that when Bianca Belair and she returns to WWE, even though right now she's pregnant, she's dealing with that. But by the time she returns, I'm worried about her too. Her last push, her last hype, was the last of when we was hype as fuck for the like WrestleMania that year too. Like, well, the recent 40. Her coming back now, I don't think she could save the women's division because WWE doesn't know how to now utilize people the right way, bro. Like, she's going to come back ready as ever, and the fans and people are just exhausted.
Plus Liv Morgan hasn't defended the title since she won it at WrestleMania. I don't fault Danhausen H's selling, but it's just too much at this point. Like, why is Dom still feuding with him? Dom has better booking with Triple A than the main roster, and with the Rhea situation WWE is picking favorites, and what they're doing there is having interim champion, and when Rhea comes back it will be champion versus champion to see who's the real champion.
Can I ask y'all a genuine question? Thank you for the 25 bits, Donnie. Chat, I'm not saying this to pat myself on the shoulder. You guys can be honest. I know sometimes I bitch. I bitch a lot. I complain. I'm a complainer. I say everything is ass. But if we being dead serious, didn't I call out that WWE and TKO, the way they market shit and book shit, is just going to ruin everything? Things are going to get worse. I swear to God, I've been saying this shit the whole time. And here's the crazy thought. I'll add this in. Even talking about, what's his name? Sami Zayn. Even if we talk about Bayley and whoever that I've been mentioning, I'm being dead serious when I say this. I don't have no hate for these people. I think they're all fucking phenomenal wrestlers. But when you got to sometimes like step back out of being a fan and you got to be like, man, Bayley, what the fuck they got going on with you? They were snubbing her for nearly half the year. And then also Charlotte Flair wins that Royal Rumble. And we all were like, what the fuck? They were underutilizing her around that time. We was confused, weren't we? We don't know. She never said they had anything personal. So every time I kept voicing shit is because I realized, nah, man, this Netflix deal money's up. Riyadh season is up. There's more pay-per-views overseas now. And I'm like, yo, I can see it. I can see it. How the fuck Obafemi wins that one shit? He's supposed to fight for SummerSlam against Roman. And they say no because they need more stacked up people, and they got Seth Rollins coming back. They're going to do that whole, oh my God, we was the Shield shit again? Again? Chat, come on, again. Haven't we heard that story? Haven't they had their feuds with that shit? So they then said, fuck it. We've been wanting Seth Rollins to be the guy for so long. We're going to continue to utilize him. Yo, Brock, we need you to come back for WrestleMania. We need you to fight more. We'll pay you X amount of dollars. And we need you to continue this with Oba. And guess what? I'm going to give Brock his motherfucking respect. You know why? Because if there's one person that I know who still loves Vince, and there's one person that we know probably has mad love for Oba right now, because he said it. He was like, I love the kid. I think he could be the next big thing, and I don't mind passing the torch to him. I think somebody who reported it, whatever, quoted like how Brock felt about with the pay-per-views and like his performances, and they're saying Brock says he thinks he's great. I gotta make sure I give my respect to Brock, because if Brock didn't want to come back to the WWE after losing WrestleMania, he didn't have to. But guess what would happen if Brock doesn't return and they told Oba, you're not fighting Roman, he's fighting Seth? Who is Oba gonna fight? And guess what? TKO is gonna do what TKO does best, and Oba's stock is gonna go down, unless they were smart enough to put. I don't know if Drew would make a difference, or Gunther, if it made sense. So, if Brock is in this bitch doing that favor, that's some real love right there, bro. I can't even hate on the man. Yeah, you may not have been the best performing like wrestler because your matches are very, like, we understand it's very predictable, but Drew is filming, excuse me. But like, I gotta show respect for Brock right now. Because Brock still got love for Vince. I mean, a lot of people still got love for Vince, but you know, it's like, come on, man. And plus, ticket prices are not going down, and then you have people paying thousands of dollars just to watch Birds, to watch Ants fight. It's bad. It's really bad right now. I ain't gonna lie. Brock should have won, and then Oba whip his ass for tomorrow. But all I'm saying is, gang, we're seeing Seth Rollins. Like, can I ask y'all a dead ass question? Do y'all not see a problem with Seth Rollins? I know the whole Hogan shit. I hate that term. I hate when everybody gets called a Hogan. I hate that shit. What up, Tsunami? Oh, it's been a minute. How you been? I hate when everybody gets called I said Tsunami. Gets called a Hogan. Are we gonna act like Seth coming back did not play a role in them changing their decisions and Seth being okay with it? Because obviously, if Seth was a real one, Seth would have been like, nah. Let Oba get his match. I should interfere. Here's my thing, though. My problem with Roman, he doesn't have a say, but we don't know. We don't know who has an opinion, not have a say. I don't think it's them having a say. I think it's more of an opinion. If we're going to sit here and we're going to say, I don't think they have a say or he has an opinion, then we're not watching the same program, bro. Like, I think it's favoritism. He comes back and they're like, okay. And he's getting put back in the spotlight. And I think there's opinions going around. Oh, okay, Donnie. Yeah, I agree. It's favoritism. The Roman Reigns shit. I love Roman, right? But gang, I never thought I'd see the day where we got champions in this bitch and they barely on screen. And we give excuses. Oh, like, yeah, we know Drew is absolutely filming. But guess what? He's been getting fucking snubbed for 2-3 years. I hope he makes billions of dollars off this fucking movie so that maybe he can move on from the company. Because they've been hoeing the shit out of him. Have we not been seeing that? My problem with Roman, that motherfucker barely wrestles. Not only that, the fans who show up and cheer for that shit validate every fucking claim TKO decides, or every move TKO decides to make. Not only that, and my last point, now I'll get back to the video. Roman, your promos, I've been calling this out. He has some good moments. But Roman, not all cocky guys say the same shit. There's some real cocky guys that are so slick with their tongue, bro. They know what to say. They got crazy punchlines or some like riddle type shit. He not doing that. It's always the same verbiage. They're basic. Just basic with sexy abs and a smirk. Have matches on random. Yeah, we've seen that shit all the time, bro. Even when we didn't see the matches, because I don't want to act like there was always matches. We've seen the storylines build up so much that they had to fuck people up in the back and in the backstage, and they had to fuck people up inside the ring. They had interferences. They were beating the shit out of each other. They had a quick little match one-on-one. They were letting themselves have it. And it was a build-up every week. But these commercials cut that time off, gang. Getting tired of it.
Years now, and I have never accepted a paycheck from WWE or AEW.
You said, I mean, he's just being him. It's better than what he's used to be. That's still a problem. Jey Uso was being him. He's fucking garbage. There's no such thing as being him, being yourself. Before that, and look, I don't want to sound like the guy that's going to the back then type. Back in my days, I used to think that when there was an issue, your OGs in wrestling would talk to you, be like, yo, maybe you should work on that more. But because you sell tickets, they'll let you say the same shit every fucking day. Just saying.
Or any other wrestling company. But you guys will still leave comments that I am biased. Well, that's actually really relevant here because Busted Open Radio will no longer be working with Thunder Rosa. Dave LaGreca came out and said everything is going to stay the same, nothing will change, but now Thunder Rosa and AEW talent will not be on Busted Open Radio. And that's because Busted Open Radio is going to be on WWE
Oh,
Radio.
yeah!
Can't you see the problem?
Didn't they just sold themselves?
Whether you agree with me, disagree with me,
Didn't they just now Busted Open is owned by WWE or something like that?
What I say on my platforms is what I believe. It's not designed to be popular, and you're not always going to agree.
Busted Open is officially going to be trash. It's going to be officially trash.
With it. But I come up with that opinion myself. And WWE doing WWE radio means they're going to be controlling a lot of what's being said on Busted Open Radio and every other
Shep,
radio
I got your
show.
text.
And I just think that is terrible. And by the way, do you think WWE would really want to pay me if I'm complaining about their shows on a weekly basis? I mean, yeah, I might praise them, but I'm also going to criticize. So let's just use common sense. WWE hates the fans, and they're not even hiding it anymore. So okay, you guys remember when recently Triple H sat down with Stephen A. Smith and he talked about how wrestling is supposed to be fun. He said that the product shouldn't be taken too seriously and people shouldn't overanalyze.
The Undertaker's podcast, bro, is ass,
I
bro.
want to break down a scenario for you guys, and I want you guys to tell me if it's fun. So recently, we did see Obafemi defeat Jey Uso in the King of the Ring tournament, crowning Oba the king. Now, prior to some of the discussion online is that Jey Uso should have actually won the tournament, considering that WWE wanted to do Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi 3. Now, people, myself included, had said that it would only make sense for Obafemi to lose by having Brock Lesnar run in and Jey Uso ultimately getting the pin. Now, while on the surface, that definitely isn't the route to go because you don't want to see Oba lose, at least it's justified. But instead, Oba wins the King of the Ring tournament. And last night on Monday Night Raw, we actually seen Obafemi kind of throw away the King of the Ring tournament idea. Brock Lesnar interrupted him, he beat him up, and then Oba was backstage and said that
Nick Aldis versus Gunther, I ain't gonna lie, I'm hyped. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's one of the few times we see a GM who's physically fit. I'm ready to see some fun. I'm actually fucking hyped for that match. I've been saying it for the last 2 years. I said, man, it'll be great if we see a GM get involved, man. I said, man, I would love to see the GMs get involved. Maybe we was just spoiled with that, but like, why not? Then when he got RKO'd, I'm like, oh shit, is something gonna happen? But nothing really happened from there. But him going up against Gunther, I need him to whip Gunther's ass. I need him to let him know, this is why I'm the GM. You can go back to retiring, people. I had to whip your ass a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You can't have. I hate to be that guy. SummerSlam is at 6 p.m. Okay, I don't think Aldis should lose. I think if they're smart, they'll market it in a way. If it's gonna be a one-off match, then he's gonna win. Then Gunther is gonna win. But if you let Gunther win and he puts him in a chokehold and pins him, and Nick Aldis comes back to WWE as a GM like regular, what happens from there? It looks weird, right? It looks weird. It just looks weird. Like he's just going to continue schedule programming if they're not going to continue the story. But if Aldis wins, it could be a callback to where like that's it. They end they beef and they don't no more problems. You got to respect my rules. And he has to shake on it. Because, Gunther's more of like he's a heel. But like, I don't know how they could kind of handle that. Podcast of sort. Oh yeah, nah, it got so bad. I agree. Yo, fan, I agree. No, I agree. Pandora's Box waiting to let some real deal stories. Yeah, they're not gonna do it no more. It's not gonna happen. It's not. Yeah, if he wins, my bad. Yeah, it's not. He's been losing. Damn.
I actually want to forego the title opportunity. It'll be there when it's there. So, okay, Oba won the King of the Ring tournament, and they're still going to have him face Brock. It sucks, but realistically, it does make sense. Now, the other prediction, especially after Sami Zayn won the WWE Championship, was that Jey Uso should go face Sami. That logically would have been the only thing that truly made sense for Jey Uso to do, and would have made people happy, at the very least, with him winning. So last night on Monday Night Raw, Jey Uso was in a backstage segment with Jimmy and Jacob, and he talked about how he needs to go over to SmackDown because Sammy's the champion and he needs to bring gold back to the bloodline.
I think Trey gonna call me. If he called me, we'll come back to this after.
Pulled the gotcha moment. At King of the Ring, they had Oba win just to say, ha ha ha, you were wrong, but we're still gonna do the exact same thing that we were always going to do anyways. Oba winning the King of the Ring tournament means nothing now. So you tell me, is that fun?
What do you think the reason for that is? What do you think the reason is?
Trey's gonna call me. Here's my thing. The only thing I'll say is this, Donnie. I think GMs should get special passes. Whenever Vince McMahon or a GM or Shane McMahon won something, I don't think it tarnished the aura of a wrestler if you push that wrestler properly. I think there's a little cheat code. There's a little cheat code when you got GMs and he's playing one more game. Yeah, he just texted me though right now. He's going into another game. No, that's fine because I got to find a game for us to run anyway and then I press play. Here's the big thing. Let's not forget those moments The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold, a lot of these big guys, their aura never was lost by them losing to somebody in like maybe a fucked up unfair match, or like say if something happened in a GM1 or like whoever or something along those lines, right? It's like a cheat code. It's a fan favorite. It's definitely fan service, and I don't think it's gonna tarnish Gunther's aura at all. Like at all. But they have to do it right. If you do it right, it could be mad fun to watch. And I don't think people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, now Gunther's done, his aura's over." Because everybody should be smart with a straight brain to know we're not viewing this like this is gonna like his career now is kickstarting him as a wrestler. We know this might be a one-off, dude. I think he might win against Nick though. Nick is gonna put up a battle fight. Gunther has been on a losing streak. I feel like maybe Nick does win, but Gunther beats his ass. Yeah, like I got a feeling Nick might lose. But again, like what I said, that's something that happens throughout the history of wrestling. Like if a referee ended up coming in and doing like what they do will fuck you up or somebody, it happens. But it does. I don't think it ruins the aura. What happens is those heels that are cocky, they get a little lesson taught, but then they back at it again. Yeah, no, he's a legit wrestler. It's a legit wrestler. We know that part. Yes. Ain't no quiet on nobody's creek. Nothing. I found out what that shit meant. That's some Saucy Santana shit, ain't it?
Nothing now. So you tell me, is that fun? What do you think the reason for that is? What do you think the reason is? I've been trying to tell you guys, I've tried to warn you for over a year and a half that this is what this company is. It is a cheap pop, you know what I'm saying? What's it called? Shock Factor. It's a Shock Factor company, bro. World Wrestling Entertainment is a joke. It's a joke.
I think that's where it's from Saucy Santana.
It's a joke. You have no stars, you have no storylines. That's it. So John Cena taps out to Gunther, and as he taps out to Gunther, he has a smile on his face. What are you smiling at? What could you possibly be smiling at? That's so funny. John Cena's sitting there, and before he taps, he's like, what are you grinning at? What's so funny? Let me guess, you gave everything you had? No, you didn't. You just pushed Cody Rhodes to the limit at SummerSlam like a few months ago. So if you can't push Gunther to the limit, who's beneath Cody Rhodes, who got pinned
I'm not a Saucy Santana fan, chat. Man, get that shit out of here, man. Now our normal streams is gone. We're never going to fucking stream no more ever again, dude.
Everything you had in your final match.
WWE officially does not care about their fans. You can't convince me otherwise. Recently,
I'll be honest, though. I don't want to be that creator that does shit like this, though. I don't want to be that person, man. I don't want to be the one that be like chat, WWE, they just suck so much cock. And I'll tell you guys why. So if you look at the categories here of sucking cock, you can just see ever since they lost Vince McMahon, they've been sucking so much cock. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I'll just tell you guys as a stream, like, nah, they shit been trash. Shit's been fucking ass. It's been fucking ass, man. It's been really bad.
Statements were made by the TKO president, Mark Shapiro, stating that there will be
I'm just being honest.
more increasing in ticket prices, which is absolutely berserk. Because if you go look at ticket prices for WrestlePalooza, even for a Friday Night SmackDown, the nosebleeds are hundreds of dollars. This is exactly what TKO president Mark Shapiro had to say. You can pause and read. And to make it even
don't make us all Santana. Yo, Daryl, Gangy, you know I'm trying to like revamp and grow and trying to find a space in this. What are you doing? You about to fuck with my mental. What is that? Don't do that. Yo, chat, do not do that. In fact, if you're going to do that, make sure Saucy Santana's in the background of Trey's office. Facts. Quiet on the Creek. Yo, Fat Fox, you trying to get time? We're not tolerating Fat Fox no more, yo. Shit, I should start. I could get my shit off and get some views. I mean, I've been telling people for a long time to start doing content, man. Tell people to start doing content. Tell Trey to answer his phone tell him to answer the call even though he's in the game.
He also stated that Vince McMahon was primarily pricing tickets for families and wasn't focused on maximizing the opportunity to increase said ticket prices like TKO is focused on doing. It is so mind-boggling to me how out of touch TKO and WWE have become. They seriously do not care about the fans. You can't tell me for 1 second they do, because He literally acknowledges that Vince McMahon, when he was still in charge, was purposefully making ticket prices affordable for families and for every type of fan to be able to go to shows. And now, as I just mentioned before, we know that ticket prices are through the roof. It's coming to a point where it's like, I don't even know the next time
What up, your boy
able
Alex?
to go to a WWE show because of how expensive it is. It's not even affordable for the average American. It's affordable for celebrities and athletes who've got thousands and thousands of dollars to spend, but for fans, actual diehards, you're pricing us out and making us not want to watch. And while we're on the topic of watching,
It's too much yapping, not enough sandwich
to
making.
go to a live event, it's even still an arm and a leg to watch at home. You have to have 18 different streaming services that all total up to hundreds of dollars, and it's like absolutely berserk. Now, I know there are fans who can afford it, or there's fans who are going to make sacrifices to be able to afford streaming services or going to live events. But at the end of the day, there are going to be thousands upon thousands of fans who are just not going to watch your product anymore because you're taking away the magic of professional wrestling. All you want is money. And that's a huge turnoff for fans. I'm incredibly infuriated by this as fans.
Not a really bad sign that the TNA World Champion would rather leave the company and go to a developmental brand of the WWE's than stay and be the face of TNA? I'm gonna be real, Mike Santana leaving just to go to NXT was the final thing I needed to see for all the cuck memes to actually be true to me. Think about all the talent that's left TNA since their partnership with the WWE started. Their roster could be stacked right now. But instead,
Ricky, I'm being
you have
ignored
Joe
now.
Hendry wasting away on the WWE's roster, barely gets any minutes. They're still treating Jordynne Grace like an afterthought, even though I swear to God, whenever I saw her for the very first time in the WWE's Royal Rumble, she was immediately extremely over to me. The fact that the WWE is fumbling her the way that they are feels very intentional. It's like they're taking TNA's wrestlers just to do nothing with them. Josh Alexander left and went to AEW. Jake Doyle also left and went to AEW. Speedball Mike Bailey also left TNA to go to AEW, and I know what a lot of y'all are thinking. Why would a wrestler going to AEW from TNA have anything to do with their partnership with the WWE? But I do think that these wrestlers are seeing the writing on the wall and what's coming to TNA from their partnership with the WWE. That's why they're jumping ship. Also, let's just be real for a second. It is obvious that TNA does not have enough money to pay their wrestlers anything substantial. Otherwise, people would be coming and staying. It's public knowledge that most NXT contracts range anywhere between $60,000 and like $150,000. If that's the case, how much money do you think Mike Santana was making for him to leave TNA to go and accept that? The Rascals all decided to leave TNA together at the exact same time. I ain't never seen a faction leave a company at once. Answer this for me. Do you think that Leon Slater is staying in TNA instead of making the jump to the WWE or AEW? I want
Wait,
TNA to be
TNA wrestlers aren't getting paid like
I also
that?
want them to have superstars on their roster. I just don't think it would be in Leon Slater's best interest to stay there. That's another big problem that TNA has right now. Who are the stars in their
Wait, hold
company?
on.
As of right
They're not
now,
getting paid
y'all
like
tell
that?
me if I'm wrong, the most popular wrestlers in TNA are Nick Nemeth, 64-year-old Frankie Kazarian, AJ Francis, who I think is way over.
He's really 64?
Do you want him to be a part of your core four in terms of your men's single division? I don't think so. Outside of that, who else is there? Moose? This is the exact reason why whenever Matt Hardy and Bubba Ray Dudley were patting each other on the back talking about how good their match at Bound for Glory was, I wasn't buying it. Because if the Dudley boys and the Hardy boys in 2025 or 2026 is the only way that your company can get a big draw for a pay-per-view, that's a bad thing. This is the last thing that I'm going to say. I just want to remind everybody that this time last year, Eric Bischoff came out and said that this time this year, TNA would be the second largest wrestling promotion in North America. He said that they were going to pass AEW up in all the metrics, viewership, pay-per-view buys, etc., etc. Now they're pulling like maybe a third of what AEW is pulling. Also, their top talent is leaving to go to NXT. So the new hierarchy in the WWE universe is Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and then TNA maybe? Is it in TNA's best interest to be the development brand for the development
Zar's in his late
brand?
40s?
I don't
Jesus
think
Christ.
it is. And again, all of this is coming from somebody that wants to see TNA be successful. I just don't think they're going to get there by being the backup to NXT.
We just basically got to confirm that WWE are the ones making the calls for TNA. So earlier this week, 3 big TNA versus AEW matches got pulled, those being MJF versus Nick Nemeth, Leon Slater versus Ricochet, and MJF versus Bear Bronson. And the initial reports were that TNA had a change of heart on Slater versus Ricochet and MJF versus Bear Bronson. And the initial reports were that TNA had a change of heart about letting their talent in the ring with contracted wrestlers to other companies, including AEW. Well, that would be a whole load of bullcrap, because we just got it announced this week that Rich Swann, who is signed to TNA, is going to be having a match against the Demands, Ricochet, and Gates of Agony, who are all signed to AEW, while also working with Sidney Hakim, formerly known as Scripps, who is signed to ROH. Mind you, a show that Moose was just pulled from due to the fact that he could be
Kind of
working
a dead
with other
giveaway?
AEW wrestlers. And this is exactly why I said that this got WWE's hands hands written all over it because Jody Threat is a TNA wrestler and just faced Mercedes Moné on the 31st. And while sure, Jody Threat did win, and a lot of y'all try to say that, well, maybe it's because of the fact that she won the match, I do not see a world that Sydney Hakim and Rich Swann, even with Michael Oku present, are going to be beating the Demand. No way. And heck, this doesn't even have to do with the fact that Carlos Silva was reportedly upset with AEW for running Collision the exact same time as TNA, and then MJF going off and him calling him a dumbass, saying that, dude, March Madness was the one that got in our way. We ain't have no other day to be able to air
What up,
on.
Cremo?
Because both MJF and Will
TNA posted
Ospreay
Livingston
just went off on Carlos Silva. MJF
fucking
ran
idiot, I
that
can't
man
read.
a new
Posted
one, saying that
inviting
if anybody supports
LeBron.
TNA, that they're a loser, and that
Give me
Will
the title order
Ospreay
for the
said,
main
how you going to
event,
be the number
WWE?
2 company, but you acting like this? Because
Wait,
right after
TNA
both
asked
of those
LeBron to
sound
do
offs
that?
happened,
Is he gonna do it?
This match was announced. Like literally an hour or two after all that happened. So these matches couldn't have gotten pulled because of MJF's comments towards Carlos Silva, because MJF's second comments were a lot worse. So this right here, this report right here, is the only possibility now. And those partners' interest are these guys right here. WWE. Now, you know what's crazy about Carlos Silva just bending it on over so much for WWE? We have not seen one WWE wrestler have a match in TNA. I said WWE wrestler, not NXT. But when AEW and TNA had a partnership, you've seen mad AEW wrestlers having matches in TNA. Their biggest of wrestlers. But as speculated upon by AJ Styles around mid to late last year, he said, but then I realized it probably could never go as far as WWE letting me do that. And I'll tell you why. It's because as soon as I open those gates for the main roster talent, now everybody's going to want to do it. But I'm sorry, isn't that the whole point of a partnership? Isn't it that you allow your talents to be able to wrestle in other companies and vice versa? Because TNA allowed the likes of Nick Nemeth,
That's
Leon
tough.
Slater, Matt Cardona, Moose, Jordan Grace, Joe Hendry, etc. to all go over to WWE. But WWE's not allowed any of their
WWE
main
doesn't
roster
partner
talent
with
to be able to go to
promotions, they
TNA.
monopolize them?
Mind you, weren't the initial reports of the partnership were that it was a
is
TNA
sad.
WWE partnership, but now it's all being labeled as a TNA NXT partnership? Yeah, no, these matches were pulled due to the fact that WWE has eyes on Leon Slater and Nick Nemeth and Moose. A bunch of reports have already come out that WWE would love to have Moose be a part of the NXT roster to be able to help out a lot of the young talents. They would love to have Leon Slater as another young wrestler on their roster, and Nick Nemeth is a guy they would love to have back. Not really sure about Bear Bronson too much, but I could see WWE, if he does get hot enough, wanting him as well, which is just sick. Not sick that WWE wants talent, because yeah, that makes sense to want all the talent in the world. But it is sick that all these other reports came out that Carlos Silva wanted to protect his talent and wanted to make sure that his talent was going over and not being looked at in a bad light or losing on rival programming and all that stuff. When in reality, the one truth was that it was always WWE.
These motherfuckers could talk. I'm just letting you know. I know I could talk, but shit, I didn't realize that.
That was blocking these matches from happening.
They're gonna own TNA
and
one day?
not just TNA on its own.
That's gonna
and
be crazy
I'm gonna
if
be
they
real.
do.
Now I 100% rock with MJF
That'd be
saying that
crazy if they do.
TNA should not be supported upon because this bald fraud don't want to pay his wrestlers properly. He want to have damn near the whole entire roster on paid per appearance contracts, but then try to tell them where they can and can't work, who they can and can't work with. Let me tell y'all right now, this little WWE partnership that Carlos Silva got going on with WWE, yeah, it might have got them a network deal, but that's about it. That's about it. They ain't gonna get anything else. No more top talents are gonna be going from NXT on over to TNA because
But the other girl,
who's
y'all didn't
gonna
like
be
that
the
she was
top
cooking.
talents?
Chat, y'all
NXT
womanizers.
ain't got no big names once a few of these other folks start leaving and all that stuff. And with all the reports that WWE is going to start pulling a lot more NXT wrestlers even earlier than they may be ready is due to the fact that they probably don't want a lot of those big names going on over to TNA. They don't want Kendall Gray over there, Callie Armstrong over there. That's why they pulled Javon Evans so early, so he couldn't be over there much anymore. So honestly, why should we support TNA? And that hurts to say because TNA was my first wrestling company that I watched. I watched it for 3-4 years before ever even watching WWE. But why should we support a company that don't want to pay its wrestlers properly, wants to pay them on all appearances, and then try to tell them where they can and can't work? And if these wrestlers get hurt on they watch, or they get hurt on NXT's watch, don't nobody want to help them out. Don't nobody at TNA want to help them out at all. Steph DeLander had to go to NXT to be able to get some kind of help. She couldn't even get help from TNA when she got hurt. Why should we support a company that's ran by a man that wants to just tap dance for WWE 24/7? Even if it is hurting all of its wrestlers on its roster. It's sick. But y'all go ahead and let me know y'all opinions on everything discussed in this video down below. And if you haven't already, make sure you like it and follow for more. Just make sure not to follow TNA.
he said that there's a lot more money that we can
Jesus,
save
that was a lot to garner.
doing WWE shows. You know, and one of those things is, why the fuck
So
are
he
we
not
touring
lying.
this show? Why do we take Raw and SmackDown across the country? Why do we take this around the world? It's so expensive. And we could do this from one location and we would save so much more money. They will get to a point when they're trying to increase the top line and try and increase their profits by minimizing the bottom line, that they'll be like, let's just stop taking this show on the road. It's not financially viable.
If they were to do that shit, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I hear what's happening with Vince and all that shit, man. Vince need to start up his own company. He need to get with some corporate billionaires. Because I'm not gonna lie, you remove the idea of traveling for WWE, like even if it's in other states. Look, y'all greedy asses want to do pay-per-views in Saudi. That's on y'all. But to remove this shit from different states? Yeah, Kevin Owens is coming back. It's just absurd to me. That shit's just crazy. TNA wasn't giving dudes health coverage. Oh, no, that's fucking crazy. Broke her neck and paid $9K out of pocket? That's fucking nuts. That's fucking sad.
For us anymore. Because we're not the customer for WWE. We're not the target audience. Shareholders, the sponsors, they're the target audience. When we were on your stag do, a few of your friends talked to me and Laurie about wrestling and being like, you know, what's it like to watch wrestling? Because I used to watch wrestling back in the day. What's it like to watch now? And Laurie just said it, but like, I didn't even tee him up for it. Laurie said, it's not a fun show to watch. It's not fun to be a wrestling fan because we're not the target audience anymore. And me and Laurie aren't like, we're not having these conversations in the office. That is just something, that's a conclusion that Laurie has come to on his own. I'm not the customer for it anymore. The shareholders are the customer now. And it's not as much fun to
Yo, Triple H, say you swear this ain't AI. Say you swear this ain't artificial intelligence right now. Why is the best wrestler in the world? She's the GOAT. Rio Sky's the best. Why is she... The women's division has now regressed into the Divas era. Yep. That's where we at. No
That's
women's
funny as
matches
shit.
on the card tonight. None. Not a... And the only thing that featured women on Raw tonight was the world title feud that centered around Danhausen, by the way. No, I'm serious. The story of this world championship
I feel like laughing because the way he's doing this shit making me like, it makes me want to laugh.
feud between Io Sky and Liv. Remember, this is Io Sky and Liv's world title feud. The story of it is Danhausen cursing Liv Morgan. Yup. Liv Morgan is having the worst women's title run of all time. And I say that full seriousness where I say that. Simply because she hasn't defended the championship once since WrestleMania. And the only person that she's actually had a consistent feud with is Danhausen. Let's go. Let's go. Change the channel over there to SmackDown and they over there making interim champions because they don't want to take the belt off Rhea. Women's wrestling is back. Triple H, come here, bro. Come, you already know what I'm doing. Yep. Come here so I can touch.
That's right, you're going to get 2 WWE TKO posts from me in one day, which is a lot because I don't like to talk about wrestling a ton. I'm a former WWE employee. I worked there from 2010 to 2020. And with all the reports of talent being released, like the New Day and Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, and the Legends contracts apparently going away, and the alleged contracts dispute between Roman
Legends
Reigns and
contracts are
TKO,
going away?
This report came out about how much money in bonuses and salary the top leaders at TKO are receiving. And it's gross. You have Ari Emanuel, who is up 272% from 18 million to 67 million. Mark Shapiro is up 33% from 32 million to 43 million. And Nick Khan is up 304% from 6 million to 24 million.
I've seen this picture.
That's gross. With all the talks about how high ticket prices are and how much debt they're in and how much money
Gotta ask
TKO
someone
needs to
summarize.
cut to save money, this is what they're doing. Say what you will about Vince McMahon personally, but Vince McMahon, his success, his financial success hinged directly on how well the product was doing. It did. That was Vince, and it was a publicly traded company, but it was a dictatorship. And under Vince, because Vince understands professional wrestling and Vince knew professional wrestling, his success hinged on WWE's success. That's not the case here with TKO when it comes to WWE, and also with UFC for that matter. This is absolutely gross. And the fact that these guys are making this much money while cutting great talent that are going to get scooped up by AEW and TNA, and it's going to create a vacuum where WWE starts to suffer overall because of the lack of talent and the lack of recognizable talent, kind of like the problem UFC has where they have no star power. But the other thing I want to talk about too is, because I'm one of these people, and a lot of my closest friends are some of these people, the people that have been laid off since 2020, the corporate employees at WWE that have been laid off or consolidated. WWE was a very well-run machine from 2010 to 2020. I was part of the digital and social team. We were a very efficient machine. We adapted.
WWE basically trying to get rid of all the center talent. Yeah, that's fucking kind of crazy.
COVID, but you know, WWE was highly profitable that year. No, I was in the first round of Nick Khan layoffs. A lot of my friends have been laid off in the subsequent rounds in them trying to, cut costs and get the company sold and all that. And to see this, the C-suite bonuses like this is just disgusting. And this isn't pro wrestling. And this just furthers my theory that those who run TKO just do not understand professional wrestling, and they never will. And WWE is going to suffer because of it.
Yikes. Yikes. Genuine yikes. Genuine yikes.